Commander Kate Murphy gripped the controls of her scout ship tighter as warning lights flashed across the console. The small vessel shuddered violently around her. Something had gone very wrong with the engine during her routine patrol near Proxima. Centauri B, United Earth Defense Force Scout Ship Delta 7 to command. Mayday, mayday, engine failure. Life support systems failing. Request immediate assistance. Kate called into her communication system. Only static answered her. She was too far from the nearest Earth outpost. No one would reach her in time. Kate checked her oxygen levels. Less than 2 hours remaining. She took a deep breath and tried to steady her hands. Panicking wouldn't help her situation. The ship drifted toward the surface of Proxima Centauri, B caught in the planet's gravity. Kate had studied this exoplanet extensively during her training. Scientists had believed it might support life, but all probes sent to the surface had mysteriously stopped transmitting before confirming anything. Now she would be the first human to find out, if she survived the landing. Kate activated the emergency. Landing protocols and braced herself. The ship plunged through the atmosphere, heat building around the hull. The landscape below came into view, strange purple vegetation covering rolling hills under a reddish sky. The impact came harder than expected. Kate's head slammed against the control panel, and darkness took her. When she opened her eyes, Kate wasn't in her ship anymore. She lay on something soft in a room with smooth, curved walls that seemed to glow with a gentle blue light. She tried to sit up and felt a sharp pain in her side. "Please remain still." "Your ribs were damaged in the crash," a voice said. Kate froze. The voice had spoken English, but it had an odd musical quality unlike any human voice she'd ever heard. She turned her head slowly. A tall figure stood nearby. It had silvery blue skin that seemed to shimmer, large almond-shaped eyes and long, slender limbs. Definitely not human. "Who are you?" Kate asked, her mouth dry. "I am Krell, ambassador of the Zinthari. You are on our world, the one you call Proxima Centauri B. We rescued you from your damaged vessel." Kate's military training kicked in. First contact with an alien species. This was historic. "Thank you for saving me. I'm Commander Kate Murphy, of the United Earth Defense Force." Krell's head tilted slightly. "We know who you are, Commander. We have been observing your species for some time." Kate tried to process this information. "You've been watching us? Why haven't you made contact before?" "Your species is young, impulsive. We preferred to wait until you were ready." Krell moved closer, examining a screen floating in midair that Kate assumed showed her medical information. "But circumstances have changed. Your arrival, while accidental, is perhaps fortunate timing." Over the next 3 days, Kate learned more about the Zinthari. They were a peaceful, highly advanced race who had mastered space travel thousands of years ago. They lived in cities built beneath the surface of the planet to protect themselves from the harsh radiation of their sun. Krell showed her their medical facilities, where they had treated her injuries, their farms where they grew strange, glowing plants, and their learning centers where young Zinthari studied the universe. "Your ship has been repaired," Krell told her on the 4th day. "You will be able to return to Earth soon." "Thank you," Kate said. "But I have so many questions. Why help me? Why show me all this?" Krell led her to a room she hadn't seen before. Inside was her scout ship, looking better than when she had left Earth. Several Zinthari worked on final adjustments. "We have been monitoring a situation in our galaxy," Krell said. "There are other species less peaceful than ours. Some have noticed your world." Kate felt a chill. "Are we in danger?" "Not immediately, but the time may come when you will need allies." Krell reached into a pocket of the flowing robe it wore and pulled out a small crystal that glowed with an inner light. "Take this." Kate accepted the crystal. It felt warm in her palm. One day, Earth may be able to return this favor. When that day comes, activate this crystal. How? You will know when the time is right. Krell placed a long-fingered hand on Kate's shoulder. "We believe your species has potential, Commander Murphy. You are young, yes, but you have qualities that may serve the galaxy well in times to come." The next morning, Kate prepared to leave. The Zinthari had provided her with supplies for the journey home and had somehow improved her ship's engine efficiency. "Will I see you again?" Kate asked Krell as they stood beside her ship. "I believe you will," the ambassador replied. "Safe journey, Commander Murphy. Remember us." Kate's return to Earth caused immediate chaos. She was quarantined and debriefed for days. Military officials and scientists questioned her repeatedly about the Zinthari, their technology, their planet. She told them everything, except about the crystal which she had hidden in a secret compartment in her boot before landing. But as weeks passed, doubt crept into the voices of her superiors. Without physical proof of the aliens, many began to suggest that oxygen deprivation had caused her to hallucinate the entire experience. "Commander Murphy, our engineers found no unexplainable improvements to your ship," General Clark said during her final debriefing. "The damage and repairs are consistent with emergency protocols and backup systems." "But I was there," Kate insisted. "I met them. They saved me." The general's expression was sympathetic but firm. "Your medical scans show your injuries could have been sustained in the crash, and your ship's log shows only 3 hours of missing time, not 4 days." Kate realized then that the Zinthari had altered her ship's records. They truly didn't want to be discovered yet. In the end, her report was filed away as an unconfirmed encounter, and Kate was assigned to desk duty at UEDF headquarters in Denver. Her career, once promising, stalled under the shadow of her delusion. At night, alone in her apartment, Kate would take out the crystal and watch its soft glow pulse like a heartbeat. Sometimes she thought she could hear faint whispers from it like distant music. "I remember," she would tell it, "and when the time comes, Earth will repay its debt." She didn't know then how soon that time would arrive, or how the fate of 2 worlds would rest on a promise of returned kindness. 15 years passed. Kate Murphy's dark hair now had streaks of gray, and lines formed at the corners of her eyes. Her small office at the United Earth Defense Force headquarters in Denver had a single window that looked out on the mountains. She spent her days analyzing patrol reports from younger officers who got to fly the missions she once commanded. The crystal from Krell stayed hidden in a false bottom of her desk drawer. Some nights Kate would take it out and hold it, wondering if she had imagined the whole experience. The crystal's glow had dimmed over the years, but it never completely faded. On a cold Tuesday morning, Kate was reviewing routine reports when a sharp pain shot through her head. She gasped and grabbed the edge of her desk. The pain came again, followed by a sound like distant voices. Kate reached for the bottom drawer. As her fingers got closer to where the crystal was hidden, the voices grew louder. She pulled out the crystal, which now pulsed with bright light. Words formed in her mind. Not English, but somehow she understood. "Help us. Danger comes. Remember your promise." Kate nearly dropped the crystal. After 15 years, the Zinthari were reaching out. More images flashed in her mind, massive ships with sharp, predatory lines. A peaceful world burning, the Zinthari fleeing underground as their cities fell. When the vision ended, Kate sat breathing hard. She knew what she had to do, but she couldn't do it alone. Dr. Alan Shepard's lab was in the basement of the science building across the UEDF campus. The room was filled with computers and strange equipment. Alan himself was a thin man with wild gray hair and thick glasses. He was one of the few people who believed Kate's story about the Zinthari. "Kate, what brings you to my cave?" Alan said, looking up from a screen covered in numbers. "I need your help, Alan. It's happening." She placed the crystal on his desk. Alan's eyes widened. "The Zinthari contacted you. They're in trouble. Something called the Vorax is attacking their world." Kate rubbed her temples. "I can still hear them in my head. It's like the crystal connected with my mind." Alan picked up the crystal carefully. "Fascinating. A psychic link across light years." He placed the crystal in a scanner. "What do they want from us?" "Help. But first we need to get the device they gave me. The military took it 15 years ago." Alan typed rapidly on his keyboard. "If they classified it, it would be in the Nevada. Research facility. That's where they keep all the weird stuff. Can you find out for sure? Give me a day. Alan adjusted his glasses. But Kate, even if we locate it, how would we get access? You're a desk jockey now and I'm just a researcher. Kate smiled grimly. I still have one friend with high enough clearance. Lieutenant Jack Powell had aged well in the 15 years since Kate had seen him last. His once blonde hair was now cut short in military style, and he had a new scar across his chin, but his easy smile was the same. They met at a coffee shop near the base. Kate sat across from him feeling nervous. Commander Murphy, Jack said, using her old rank as a sign of respect. It's been a long time. Too long, Kate agreed. How's space? Jack commanded a defense station in Earth orbit. Cold and quiet, just how I like it. But you didn't call me for small talk. Kate took a deep breath. I need your help, Jack. It's about what happened at Proxima Centauri. Jack's smile faded. Kate, we've been through this. The doctors said it wasn't oxygen deprivation. Kate leaned forward. They were real and now they're in trouble. She told him everything, the crystal, the message, what she and Alan had discovered. Jack listened without interrupting, his face serious. When she finished, he sat back. That's a lot to take in. I know how it sounds. Actually, it makes some sense. Jack lowered his voice. There have been unusual readings from deep space recently. Command is keeping it quiet, but something's out there moving closer. Hope flared in Kate's chest. Then you believe me? Jack sighed. I believe you believe it. And that's enough for me to help an old friend. He tapped his fingers on the table. But if we're caught breaking into a secure facility, we're looking at court-martial or worse. I know what I'm asking. Give me 2 days to arrange base access. Jack stood up. And Kate? I hope you're right about these aliens being friendly. 2 days later, Kate, Alan, and Jack stood outside the Nevada research facility. Jack's security clearance got them through the main gate, but that was only the beginning. The storage vault is 5 levels down, Jack whispered as they walked through sterile white corridors. My clearance only gets us to level 3. How? Do we get further? Kate asked. I have an idea, Alan said, but you're not going to like it. They reached a security checkpoint. A woman with short black hair and sharp eyes looked up from the desk. Jack tensed. Hello, Jack, the woman said, coldly. Olivia. Jack's voice was equally cold. I didn't know you were stationed here. Chief of Security, 2 years now. Olivia looked at Kate and Alan. Friends of yours? Kate stepped forward. Commander Kate Murphy, retired field officer. Something flickered in Olivia's eyes. The one who claimed to meet aliens? The same. Kate held Olivia's gaze. Olivia tapped her security badge against the desk for a long moment. Interesting timing. Follow me. She led them into a small meeting room and closed the door. Let me guess. You're here for the crystal device recovered from Commander Murphy's boot 15 years ago. Kate blinked in surprise. How did you know? Because 2 nights ago it started glowing and emitting frequencies that knocked out some of our equipment. Olivia crossed her arms. And because I've been tracking unusual activity in deep space that seems to be heading toward Proxima Centauri. Jack stared at his ex-wife. You believe her story? Let's say I'm open to the possibility. Olivia turned to Kate. Tell me everything and don't leave anything out this time. Kate told her story again. When she finished, Olivia nodded slowly. If you're right, Earth could be in danger too. Olivia made a decision. I'll get you to the vault, but whatever happens, I'm coming with you. An hour later, the 4 of them stood around a table in a secure lab. On the table sat a small device that looked like a perfect cube made of the same crystal material as Kate's shard. What now? Jack asked. Kate took the shard from her pocket. As she brought it closer to the cube, both began to glow brighter. She placed the shard against the cube, and they merged seamlessly. The room filled with light as a holographic star map appeared above the table. It showed the Proxima Centauri system with a flashing point on one planet. Another set of lights, red and menacing, moved toward it through space. "Those must be the Vorax ships," Alan whispered. The hologram shifted, showing schematics for technology beyond anything humans had created. "These are weapons," Jack said, studying the designs. "They're giving us their defense systems." "No," Kate realized as more images appeared. "They're giving us a way to help them fight." The image zoomed out to show the Vorax fleet's path after Proxima Centauri, heading directly toward Earth. "They're not just asking for help," Olivia said grimly. "They're warning us. We're next." The alarm blared through the facility. Red lights flashed in the hallways. Kate, Alan, Jack, and Olivia looked at each other as the holographic display continued to show the Vorax fleet moving toward Earth. "Someone noticed we accessed this room without proper clearance," Olivia said, pulling out her security badge. "We have minutes before security teams arrive." "We need to take this to someone with authority," Kate said, reaching for the crystal device. Alan stopped her hand. "Wait, we can't just take it. The system will lock down if it detects the device leaving the secure area." Jack looked to Olivia. "Can you override it?" She shook her head. "Not without alerting the entire base." Kate thought quickly. "We don't need to take the physical device. The information is what matters." She pointed to Alan. "Can you copy the schematics?" Alan pulled a small data drive from his pocket. "Already on it." While Alan worked, Olivia checked the hallway. "Security is moving this way. We need a plan." Kate looked at the hologram again. The Vorax ships were massive, built like predators. The Zinthari defenses were failing. Earth might be next. They needed someone with power to believe them. "Admiral Miller," Kate said suddenly. "He's the only one with enough authority to mobilize a response." "Miller?" Jack scoffed. "He's the one who buried your original report. He'll never listen." "He will if we bring him proof." Kate nodded toward the crystal. "And if all four of us stand together?" Footsteps echoed down the hall. Guards were coming. "Too late for that plan," Olivia said, drawing her sidearm. "I'll create a distraction. The rest of you get to the emergency exit." Jack grabbed her arm. "They'll arrest you." Olivia gave him a small smile. "Not if I'm just doing my job." She handed Jack her security badge. "This will get you through the back way. Go, now." Before anyone could argue, Olivia stepped into the hallway shouting orders. "Security breach in Section 8. All units respond." Jack led Kate and Alan through a series of maintenance tunnels. Alan clutched the data drive with the copied schematics. Kate kept her crystal shard safe in her pocket. It pulsed gently, as if encouraging her. They emerged from the facility to find Olivia waiting by a transport vehicle. "How did you—" Jack began. "Chief of Security, remember?" Olivia smiled. "I know every exit in this building. Now get in. We have a long drive to reach Denver headquarters." The trip to Denver took 6 hours. During the drive, Alan studied the schematics he had copied. "This technology is incredible," he said. "The Zinthari energy weapons are based on principles we've barely begun to understand, and their shield systems could change everything." "Can we build it?" Kate asked. Alan scratched his head. "Some of it, maybe, but we'd need resources, factories, engineers, things we can't get without official approval." "First things first," Jack said from the driver's seat. "We need to convince Admiral Miller that aliens exist and are about to attack Earth. Then we can worry about building space weapons." Kate looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there the Zinthari were fighting for survival. "What if Miller doesn't believe us?" "Then we go public," Olivia said firmly. "The world deserves to know what's coming." They arrived at UEDF headquarters as dawn broke. The guards at the gate recognized Jack and Kate and waved them through. "Admiral Miller should be in his office by 0700, Kate said, checking her watch. "We have 30 minutes to prepare." They gathered in Kate's small office. Alan connected his data drive to Kate's computer, and they reviewed the information again. "We need to be precise," Kate said. No wild claims, just facts. At exactly 700, they walked into Admiral Frank Miller's office. The Admiral was a stern man with gray hair cut short in military style. He looked up from his desk with annoyance. Commander Murphy, Lieutenant Powell. His eyes narrowed at Alan and Olivia. This better be important. Sir, Earth is in danger, Kate said, standing straight. 15 years ago, I encountered an alien species called the Zinthari. They're under attack from another species called the Vorax, and Earth is next in line. Miller's face darkened. Commander, we settled this matter years ago. Your oxygen deprivation. With respect, sir, Olivia cut in. There's new evidence. As Chief of Security at the Nevada Research Facility, I've monitored unusual signals from deep space matching the trajectory Commander Murphy described. Jack stepped forward. Station Observatory 3 has detected unidentified objects moving through the Proxima Centauri system, sir. The reports were classified, but they match what we're telling you. Miller looked at each of them. You realize what you're saying? That Earth faces an alien invasion? Yes, sir, Kate said. But we also have a chance to help the Zinthari and protect Earth. They gave us their technology. Alan placed the data drive on Miller's desk. The schematics are all here, sir. Weapons, shields, communication systems, everything we need. Miller stared at the drive. Even if I believed you, which I don't, we couldn't build advanced alien technology in time to make a difference. We don't have to build all of it, Alan explained. We can adapt parts of it to our existing systems, upgrade our satellites for better detection, modify our missiles with their guidance systems. Miller shook his head. This is absurd. I should have you all arrested for breaking into a secure facility and stealing classified information. Kate felt desperation rising. Sir, please. An aide burst into the office. Admiral, NORAD reports multiple unknown objects entering the solar system. They're massive and moving at incredible speed. Miller stood so quickly his chair fell backward. What? Show me. They rushed to the command center where a large screen showed the solar system. Red dots moved steadily inward from beyond Pluto. What are they? Miller demanded. Unknown, sir, a technician replied. They're not responding to hails on any frequency. Kate stepped forward. Try this frequency. She recited a series of numbers that had appeared in her mind when she touched the crystal. The technician hesitated, then entered the numbers. The screen flickered and a message appeared. Message received, sir. Text only. Miller nodded. On screen. The message was simple. Earth. Do not interfere in our harvest of Proxima Centauri b. Remain neutral, and you will be harvested last. Silence fell over the command center. Miller turned slowly to Kate. It seems I owe you an apology, Commander Murphy. His voice was tight. Tell me everything you know about these Vorax. As Kate explained, more reports came in. The Vorax ships were slowing near Jupiter, but a smaller vessel had broken off and was heading toward Earth. Ambassador's ship, Jack guessed. They want to talk. Miller nodded grimly. Let them come. In the meantime, he turned to Alan. Dr. Shepard, assemble a team of our best engineers. I want those alien schematics analyzed immediately. He looked at Kate. Commander Murphy, you're reinstated to active duty. You know these Zinthari better than anyone. If there's a chance they can help us fight, I need you to make contact. Kate stood at attention. Yes, sir, there's just one problem. The Zinthari are already fighting for survival. We need to help them first. Miller frowned. Why would we risk our forces to help them when we need to prepare Earth's defenses? Because, sir, Kate said firmly, Earth owes them a favor, and because we'll need allies to survive what's coming. Miller studied her for a long moment, then nodded slowly. Make your case to the World Security Council. If they approve, you'll have your mission. Kate felt the crystal warm in her pocket. The first step had been taken. Now came the hard part, convincing the world's leaders to join. An interstellar war. The World Security Council chamber was a large room with a round table in the center. Flags of all nations lined the walls. Kate stood before the world's most powerful leaders, her hands steady despite her nerves. Admiral Miller stood beside, Her, along with Jack, Olivia, and Alan. On screens around the room, news reports showed the panic spreading across the globe. The Vorax ambassador ship had been detected by civilian astronomers. Governments could no longer hide the truth. Aliens were coming to Earth. Commander Murphy, the council president, said, "You claim to have first-hand knowledge of these aliens, both the Zinthari who are asking for our help and the Vorax who are threatening our world." "Yes, sir," Kate replied. "I met the Zinthari 15 years ago when they saved my life. They are peaceful and highly advanced. The Vorax are predators who strip worlds of resources, destroying all life in their path." A woman with silver hair spoke next. Dr. Lisa Chen headed the United Nations Scientific Coalition. "We've reviewed the technology schematics provided by the Zinthari. Some of it could be adapted to our existing systems within weeks. The more advanced elements would take months, possibly years." "We don't have years," Kate said. "The Vorax will reach Proxima Centauri in days. Earth will be next." The Russian representative leaned forward. "Why should we risk our ships and people to help these Zinthari? Our first duty is to protect Earth." Kate took a deep breath. "The Zinthari have technology far beyond ours. Without their help, we stand no chance against the Vorax fleet. By helping them now, we gain a powerful ally and time to prepare our own defenses." "And if we fail?" asked the Chinese representative. "If we send ships and they are destroyed, we will be weaker when the Vorax come here." Alan stepped forward. "The schematics include a communication system that works across light years. We can install it on our ships before they leave. If the battle goes poorly, they can transmit everything they learn about Vorax weaknesses back to Earth." The council members whispered among themselves. Kate could feel their fear, their uncertainty. The American representative spoke next. "The Vorax message was clear. If we stay neutral, they will attack others first. We could use that time to build our defenses." Kate felt anger rise in her chest. "They said we would be harvested last, not spared, just saved for later. And they've already shown they can't be trusted by attacking the peaceful Zinthari." Jack moved to stand beside Kate. "As a military officer, I understand caution, but fighting alongside the Zinthari gives us battlefield experience against the Vorax. We learn their tactics, their weaknesses. Better to fight with allies now than alone later." Olivia joined them. "My security teams have analyzed the Vorax message. The term harvest suggests they see us as resources, not people to negotiate with. Their technology allows them to strip planets in weeks. Neutrality isn't safety, it's surrender." The room fell silent as the leaders considered these words. Finally, the council president spoke again. "We will put it to a vote. Those in favor of aiding the Zinthari against the Vorax?" Hands rose slowly. Kate counted them. 8 for, 7 against. It had passed, but barely. "Very well," the president said. "The council authorizes a defense force to assist the Zinthari against Vorax aggression. Admiral Miller, you will oversee this operation." Miller nodded. "We'll begin immediately." As they left the chamber, Kate felt the weight of what they had just done. Earth was going to war against an alien race. "It won't be a large force," Miller told them as they walked to the command center. 6 ships, our newest and best, armed with whatever Zinthari tech we can adapt in the next 48 hours. "I'm going with them," Kate said firmly. Miller stopped walking. "I need you here, Commander. You're our expert on the Zinthari." "That's exactly why I need to go. I'm the only human they've met. They'll trust me." Kate met his eyes. "And I made them a promise." Miller studied her face, then nodded. "Very well. You'll command the mission. Lieutenant Powell will be your second." "I'm going too," Alan said. "Nobody understands the Zinthari tech better than me." "And I'll handle security," Olivia added. "Someone needs to keep these 3 out of trouble." Miller almost smiled. "It seems I can't separate you 4. Fine. But this mission has one goal. Help the Zinthari survive long enough to establish an alliance. Do not engage in a war you can't win." "Understood, sir," Kate said. The next 2 days passed in a blur of activity. Shipyards around the world worked non-stop to modify 6 ships with Zinthari technology. Engineers installed new weapon systems, shields, and communication devices. Crews trained on equipment they barely understood. Kate spent hours studying the crystal, which now showed her images of the Zinthari homeworld. She memorized their cities, their defenses, the terrain where the battle would be fought. The night before launch, she stood in the observation deck of the flagship, now renamed the USS Horizon. Earth glowed blue and green below. Soon, she would leave it behind, perhaps forever. Jack found her there, staring at the stars. Can't sleep? Too much to think about, Kate admitted. Are we doing the right thing? Having second thoughts? Jack leaned against the window beside her. Not about helping the Zinthari, about leading this mission. 15 years ago, I was just a scout ship commander. Now I'm leading Earth's first interstellar battle fleet. Jack nodded. Everyone on this ship is doing something no human has done. Before, we're all scared. I'm not scared, Kate said softly. I'm worried I'll fail them. Both humans and Zinthari. You won't be alone. Jack put a hand on her shoulder. We're all in this together. The door slid open and Olivia walked in, followed by Alan. Both looked tired but determined. Final checks are complete, Olivia reported. All ships are ready for tomorrow's launch. Alan held up a tablet. The communication system is working. We should be able to contact the Zinthari once we're closer to their world. Kate looked at her three friends. They had risked everything to help her, to help two worlds they had never seen. She felt something she hadn't felt in 15 years. Hope. Get some rest, she told them. Tomorrow we make history. As they left, Kate turned back to the stars. Somewhere out there, the Zinthari were fighting, holding on, waiting for help. Somewhere else, the Vorax fleet moved through space, destroying everything in its path. Earth was taking sides in a war among the stars. What happened next would change humanity forever. Kate touched the crystal in her pocket, feeling its warmth. The Zinthari had saved one human life 15 years ago. Now humans would try to save an entire civilization. It was time for Earth to repay its debt. The Zinthari star system glowed red on the main display of the USS Horizon. 6 Earth ships moved in formation, approaching the battle already in progress. Kate stood at the command center, watching Vorax warships circle the Zinthari homeworld like hungry sharks. Status report, she ordered. 23 Vorax ships detected, Jack reported from his station. They're bombarding the planet's surface. The Zinthari defense fleet is down to 7 vessels. Olivia studied her security screens. The Vorax haven't noticed us yet. We have the element of surprise. Kate nodded. Alan, can you contact the Zinthari? Alan worked at his console, where the crystal device was now connected to the ship's communication system. Sending signal now, using the frequency from your crystal. Static filled the speakers, then cleared to reveal a familiar musical language. Kate felt the words form in her mind rather than hearing them with her ears. Unknown vessels, identify yourselves. This space is dangerous. Flee while you can. Kate stepped forward. This is Commander Kate Murphy of Earth. Ambassador Krell, do you remember me? You saved my life 15 years ago. We've come to help. Silence. Then, Commander Murphy? Is it truly you? Yes, Ambassador. Earth remembers its debt. We've brought 6 ships with modified Zinthari technology. Tell us how we can help. The view screen flickered to show Krell. The Zinthari looked older, weary, but those large eyes still held wisdom. You came. After all this time, you came. Krell seemed amazed. We made a promise, Kate said simply. Krell nodded. The Vorax have destroyed our outer defenses. They target our shield generators. Once those fall, they will begin harvesting our world. We'll protect your shield generators, Kate promised. Send us their locations. As data flowed to the Earth, ships, Kate issued orders. The 6 human vessels moved into defensive positions around the planet. Vorax fleet is changing course, Jack reported. They've spotted us. All ships battle formation, Kate commanded. Remember the plan. We're not here to win the war, just to help the Zinthari hold their ground. The first Vorax attack came swiftly. Their ships were massive, covered in what looked like metal scales. Energy beams lashed out, striking the Earth ships. Shields holding at 80%, Olivia reported. The Zinthari modifications are working. Return fire, Kate ordered. Target their weapons systems. Earth's ships fired. The modified weapons burned through the Vorax shields, damaging 2 enemy vessels. They're regrouping, Jack warned. 7 ships heading toward us. The battle intensified. Earth ships darted between the larger Vorax vessels, firing precisely at weak points identified in the Zinthari data. The Vorax, surprised by this new threat, divided their forces, but the advantage didn't last long. The Vorax adapted quickly, changing their attack patterns. 3 Earth ships took heavy damage. We're losing the Defiant, Jack reported grimly. Their shields are failing. Kate gripped the command rail. Order them to fall back, we need to. A massive explosion rocked the horizon. Lights flickered and alarms blared. Direct hit to our main engine, Olivia reported. We're losing power. Alan looked up from his console, face pale. Their weapons are adapting to our shields. They're learning our weaknesses. Kate knew they couldn't win this battle with firepower alone. Earth ships were advanced, but the Vorax were simply too numerous and too powerful. There has to be something they can't adapt to, she muttered. Something they haven't seen before. Alan snapped his fingers. The Zinthari said the Vorax hunt by sound patterns in space. They track energy signatures like animals follow scents. So we need to confuse their senses, Kate realized. Can we change our energy signature? Better, Alan said, excitement in his voice. We can broadcast a different kind of signal entirely. He began typing rapidly on his console. The Zinthari don't use sound for communication. They use mind-to-mind links. But humans, we've always used sound. What are you suggesting? Kate asked. Music, Alan said. Earth music, broadcast at the frequencies the Vorax use to communicate and coordinate. It would be like a blinding light to them, something they've never experienced. It was a desperate plan, but they had no better options. Do it, Kate ordered. Alan connected to the ship's database. What should we use? Rock? Classical? Something powerful, Kate said. Something that shows the best of humanity. Alan found what he was looking for. Earth's Combined Symphony Orchestra, Beethoven's Ninth, the Ode to Joy. He pressed a button, and the powerful notes of Beethoven filled the ship's communication systems. But instead of broadcasting through normal channels, the music rode on the same frequencies the Vorax used to coordinate their attack. The effect was immediate. Vorax ships began to drift out of formation, their movements becoming erratic. It's working, Jack exclaimed. They can't maintain their attack pattern. Broadcast on all frequencies, Kate ordered. Tell the other Earth ships to do the same. Soon, the space around the Zinthari world was filled with the sound of Earth's greatest music. The Vorax fleet fell into confusion, ships colliding with each other as their coordination collapsed. The Zinthari fleet, recognizing the opportunity, pressed their attack. Together with the Earth vessels, they targeted the Vorax command ships. They're retreating, Olivia called out as the remaining Vorax vessels began pulling away from the planet. Kate could hardly believe their eyes. The mighty Vorax fleet was withdrawing, unable to fight while bombarded by the alien sensation of human music. Hours later, when the last Vorax ship had fled the system, the USS Horizon docked at the Zinthari space station. Kate, Alan, Jack, and Olivia were welcomed as heroes. In a grand meeting hall, Ambassador Krell faced Kate. You have saved our world, Commander Murphy. One small act of kindness from us 15 years ago has been repaid 1,000-fold. Kate shook her head. We didn't just come because of a debt. We came because it was right. And you brought a weapon the Vorax had never faced, Krell said with wonder. Your music, your art. We had no idea humans carried such power. Music isn't a weapon, Alan explained. It's how we express our humanity, our emotions, our dreams. Perhaps that is why the Vorax feared it so, Krell suggested. They understand only taking, consuming. Your music speaks of creating, sharing. Jack stepped forward. Will they return? Perhaps, Krell admitted. But not soon. And when they do, they will find Earth and Zinthari standing together. The alliance between Earth and the Zinthari was formalized that day. The Zinthari would share their advanced technology, and humans would share their art, music, and unique perspective on the universe. 3 months later, Kate stood on the observation deck of the new joint Earth-Zinthari space station. The view showed both the Zinthari homeworld and, through a special viewing portal, Earth itself, though it was light years away. "Admiral Murphy," Olivia said, entering the deck. "The Council is ready for you." Kate smiled at her new rank. So much had changed. Earth had taken its first steps into a larger universe. Humans were learning they had gifts to offer advanced civilizations, not just technology but creativity, art, and a unique way of solving problems. "When Earth owes you a favor, miracles happen," Krell had said to her earlier that day. But the real miracle was discovering that humanity had something precious to give all along. Kate took one last look at the stars before heading to the council meeting. The galaxy had become a much bigger place, full of dangers, but also new friends. And humanity, through music and courage, had found its voice among the stars.